I'll just share screen with you. Variables, operators, and conditionals. Okay. Collections, loops, and codes. Print it here, you see. Okay. Hello? Can you hear me? Hey, how's everything?
How are you?
Pretty good. How was your, the first time with Python, I guess?
I will say I'm obviously overwhelmed by it. But I think as I get used to it,
Yeah.
I think I'll like it. I'll definitely like it better than VBA.
Oh, really? Okay, good. See, everyone always says that, so that's at least that's consistent.
Yeah, it just seems a little more, I don't know, user friendly perhaps.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to, I guess, understanding it more, that'll be
Okay.
nice. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I guess we'll have time, to look at it because, like you said, we have 5 weeks, right? To you
yeah,
guys will spend time with us. Yeah,
yeah.
like for your like the beginnings of Python, I would say like if since we're gonna look at it, and I did take a look at the assignment. Do you want to like go over because I sent you a few things. Maybe like I have like 5 lessons on it and then 5 assignments, but then maybe it'll be too much like because like it does get very theoretical. Maybe we'll just talk about like the because like the beginning like maybe 1 to 3 is
Mhm.
applied to everything, and then like today we'll talk about one. We'll see how far we go, and then kind of like cover my poll and my bank. I, I did take a look at these, and
Okay.
I'm hoping that I kind of I'll try guide you to maybe how to start it. Did you get a chance to like look at what it is?
I started to. I got a little busy with a work assignment, and then
Okay.
I had computer issues, and then I've been dealing with allergies. I'm a little stuffy
Oh
today.
man, yeah. So
I apologize. So
that's all good.
I got a trifecta going here today. So
We'll take
um,
our time. Yeah. What I can do because like this is what I'm thinking like I know for VBA that was a little like because it was already due. Maybe it's more effective if I show you kind of like guide you like how I would do it and then maybe you can do it first this before the deadline.
yeah, I think I agree. I think taking a step back and understanding um what it is. I've got my sound different today, so I don't think I need headphones. Let's see here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
good.
I
All right.
wasn't sure. I changed the defaults and I went back and forth on it. Okay. So yeah, I agree. I think let's just take a step back and
Okay.
um, because the first day, and I
Yeah.
think it was like I was so overwhelmed with the VBA assignment, I wasn't
Yeah.
listening, and that's how this whole course is set up to be because it is a boot camp, of course. So I agree.
Okay.
Let's do that and just go with step one,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I
That'll
can.
be good. And then like because like after I show you like some of the I'll begin with some examples and then maybe I'll talk about the assignment, the weekly assignment, but then like maybe throughout the like because it'll be like kind of like a weekend you can work on the assignment and then we can meet again and actually finalize it instead of me just like showing you the answer is what I'm saying.
No, absolutely. No, and you're
Yeah,
absolutely spot on. I mean, you could tell I was desperate times last week, but
yeah,
this is definitely because we're in it for so long.
yeah.
And I have a feeling our first team assignment,
Mm,
which is I think at the end of October. He hasn't given us that assignment yet, so I don't know.
okay.
But I'm assuming it'll be heavy in Python, and so
Oh, perfect. Yeah, Python should be instead of like do you guys have to choose or is it just all Python?
well, it's I'm not sure what the assignment will detail, but the next 5 weeks definitely Python. I know I think this Saturday he's going to teach us uh, pandas. So,
Oh,
and
okay, okay.
yeah,
Those are good. Yeah. Okay.
whatever those are, I'll
Yeah.
find out. And then definitely we'll get into the, I think you said GVS or GVC script. So
Okay.
we'll start learning that, and then a lot of it is I'm guessing how to import. He started teaching us importing different dictionaries, creating our own
Yeah.
that type of thing. So, and I'm sure it'll have some sort of survey component to it, and some sort of reporting mechanism. And I think that'll be heavily involved with Python before we get into, say, JavaScript and C++ and all the other. And I haven't taken a look at the weekly lesson lately, but I can get that to you so you have an idea. But definitely will be contained within the Python world.
Okay, I'll do my best to show you the basics first, and it's like these today. Yeah, we'll talk about variables, operators, and conditionals.
Okay.
Does that sound familiar? It's
Yeah.
I think we talked about that in VBA as well, the variables. But then I think this will be good just so that like we because I know for the assignment you're gonna be using maybe if-else statements.
Yes.
And if I believe, yeah, and a list and a loop. Yeah, you have to use a loop. We'll kind of touch on the loop when we talk about the assignment, but let's just talk about variables first. Okay. Do you have your like Visual Studio open?
I do.
Okay.
Do you want me to share my screen, or I can follow along?
Yeah, like I think it'll be good because this first one, do you see this like PDF? I kind of like partitioned.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna follow what each one of these in the code blocks are on the right, and then maybe you wanna like go along with me and then see if you get the same results.
And in fact, the results, that's one thing I had an issue with, of how to show the output, because I have terminal, and then it was about a git pull and push, and I don't know if I can see the results on Visual Studio. He went so fast, I didn't know how.
Okay, I can show you that one.
Yeah, sorry, I got lost there, and he had his screen split, and I couldn't tell if it was Visual Studio or another program.
Okay. Does this like my screen right here? Does this look like something? This is Visual Studio. Okay.
Yes, this is Visual Studio. That is what I have. Yes.
Okay, good. So the one thing I would say, like in showing the results in Visual, because you can show it in like just a regular terminal like this, or from Anaconda, the terminal from Anaconda, or you can show it from Visual Studio. But like typically, I guess I'll look at this as this will serve like as an example. So when you like like define a variable, and then you put like something here. Usually for like Python, it doesn't just output if you do this. This is just assigning, declaring, and then assigning.
So declaring and assigning.
Yeah, declaring this variable, and then when you assign is like when you make it equal something.
And assigning, okay.
So, but then once you declare and assign, okay, you define the variable, and then you stored something in it, but then you don't know what it is, right? Like you want to know you want to check what value it has.
Right.
So your very best friend is probably print. This is the one like, oh yeah, there's another thing. If you guys use, like that's why I kept on asking if you guys are using Jupyter Notebook.
We will eventually, yeah.
Oh, you guys will eventually, awesome. Yeah, because I know that's like one very common application, like that uses Python. The reason why is this is actually what I created from Jupyter Notebook. You can use text.
Oh.
Yeah, you can like Word. So if you're using code, like kind of like presenting it, it's very, very streamlined. Like you can put everything in there, all the instructions, and the code. The code is also in it, so you can run code and text. Yeah.
So much easier. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's why I want to show you that. Like, but I just showed you the PDF. When you guys get to like Jupyter Notebook, I'll finally show you how that works.
Okay.
But it is like for Visual Studio, you have to write print, right, in order to actually output the value. But so the way you do it is just this, print, and you put what you put inside is just whatever you want to see, right?
Okay.
Okay, and then this is how you would run it. So like if you go to this triangle, like start.
Oh, I don't have.
Do you have that one?
You know what? I don't have the tools bar. Can I share my screen real fast and have you show me how to?
Okay.
Usually, I'm.
Let me see. Okay, yeah, please, yeah, I want to see.
Because I think that was it. So can you? Oh wait, gosh, I always forget the actual press the share. Okay,
Okay.
so you should be seeing my Visual Studio and then lessons on.
Okay.
Can you
Oh,
see
there's
that?
no okay. Do you have try go to like click on Visual Studio. It should be there should be like a ribbon up top. It still says Finder. It still we'll try Explore.
Oh, sorry.
Try click the three dots on the right.
You know when you're telling somebody and you're like, it's right here.
Yeah.
These three dots.
Show open. Show open. It doesn't look right. For some reason in Mac, there's always like it's very simple looking.
Right? I know. I let's see here.
Maybe it's the gearbox. There's a gearbox on the left, on the bottom left. Look, with that one, you try click that one. Maybe there's a settings. There is a settings. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Click. All right. Let's look at this.
Okay.
And okay, workbench. Could it be in workbench? Try click on workbench. I'm gonna try see if I can find that. It's supposed to say like toolbox.
Workbench, command palette, command preserve.
This is appearance. What about appearance? Click on appearance.
Activity bar.
And then try click on let me see, that's color theme, settings editor. Editor manage. Let me see, features. What about on features? Terminal remote timeline number output. It's not on that one. Let me try to look at mine if there's like something similar. Usually there's a, because I do have the settings as well, but it's in a different location.
Okay.
And let me just see. So try on the top. I don't know if in Mac it's the same thing, but like if you write, it does say code right there. Okay. Run. What about run? It says run right there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, maybe that's the one. Run without debugging. Try that one. Where was your code that located? The one that did you start writing something?
I just started writing on the terminal face here. I was just writing what you had.
Okay, I think this should work. Try go to run again. Yeah, run, and then just run without debugging. That one.
Is that what's called the node?
Try go to more.
Oh my God.
Okay, this is different. Okay, try go to terminal. It's different in Mac.
Yeah, that's why I was like, and he's working in PC too.
Oh, he is? Okay. Okay.
I know. And I thought I did a good thing.
Okay.
Okay, well there's welcome. So here's a welcome.
Okay.
Um
What version is this? What Visual Studio is it?
Where did I find that? Let's see here.
Is it the latest on Mac? Okay.
Yeah, it was I just downloaded it in August, so.
Okay. Let me just take a look at the Mac version. So let's see. Yeah, we'll try to like because like I said with Mac and PC,
I,
I'm gonna do my best to communicate that the equal the
yeah,
equivalent way.
I think for the most part we'll be on the same page. It's like
Yeah,
these little things that add up
yeah.
that you just can't
Like the
figure.
running is definitely something we need to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's see. So this he did run his on his Visual Studio, right? Or was it on the terminal?
I don't think he did have at one point terminal on the right hand side. So
Okay,
that's why I pulled mine up here because I wasn't sure. But you know what? When he had terminal on the right hand side, he had like the unsolved assignment pulled up
okay,
in the folder. And then
okay.
he would type in Visual Studio Code and then do something really fast in terminal to run the code or
Yeah,
save and run. And I don't know what those commands were. And then it would output in terminal. So I kept trying to slow down the video because I went back and watched, but it was like save and then run, and his hands move so fast that
I
I
know, I know, I know.
it was like
It's like a coder thing. Like he probably assumes like everyone's like on the same page, but obviously that's not reality.
no, no. I was just what
Yeah,
any questions? Move on, and I'm like, well, most of us are at this point like overwhelmed and afraid to ask questions.
yeah.
So
No worries. We'll try to debunk it. Try let's try something. Like try to go to terminal. I'm trying to watch this thing where I think it's kind of similar to what we've been doing in math. Run tasks. Try doing that run tasks. Oh, that's different. Okay.
um, run active file.
Yeah, try that one. And it doesn't really show you there's supposed to be like an output ribbon at the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah, because this is just the code editor. Like what we're on right now is a code editor. Try go to run again. And then let me see, toggle enable add open. What is go? Let's just try to look at that one. Go file. Did you try saving this file first? Maybe try saving it as like .py.
I didn't. I actually just opened it up as a fresh.
Okay. Try saying as a something like sample.py and then let's run type that because when you click on run it said something about environment. So maybe save it first. Let's see.
Okay. Why isn't it letting me? Doo-doo-doo. Oh my lands. I don't even know how to save it because usually when I would have to.
Okay. I think if you go to like file
Okay.
and then try save it, yeah, save as. I think that's
Oh,
what
it popped up. Okay.
okay.
I was.
Yeah, the thing is with Mac, like the ribbon is like separate from
Uh, oh my gosh. I'll just save everything on desktop and
Okay.
then I'll just say define variable.
Okay, and let's see if you can save this as .py. Like try click on format, like all files. It says all files at the bottom. Yeah, like see if you can save this as Python. Yeah, you can. Okay.
Oh, perfect.
And then how come it says G the try type .py. It's supposed to be .py outside. Okay, and then save. Let's see if that works. Okay, that did work. Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
see, like now it changed, right?
Yes, it changed at the bottom here. Okay.
Okay, that's good. Then now try running it, and then type in that name, whatever you saved it as. Define var, yeah. .py, yeah. I
Oh.
think let's see if this works.
Um, oh.
That's different. Okay. Let's see. Try looking at like how you would run it. Software visual math. Okay.
I'd help. I would. I just have no.
Well, let me for the like yeah. Now I know. So you're gonna be using a Mac, right? I'll try to see if I can like ahead of time figure out these, but right now let's see if we can figure it out. Okay, so you saved it. Okay, and then
Oh, I didn't mean to keep doing that. I thought I was erasing one. There we go.
okay, try to go on. I think I figured it out, but let's see if it works. Just run. You're supposed to see run Python file in terminal. So try click that file. Not there, but the you know that file. Yeah, that file right there. Can you right click or left click? There's supposed to be like extra buttons. It says like run Python file in terminal.
Mm,
If you hover over like define variable.
yeah, this is what pops up.
And then the play button isn't on the right. You can also do that one. There's supposed to be a play button there. Try click the like in between the you know that book looking thing and the
This right here?
yeah, in between that and then the other icon on the left, there's supposed to be the run button.
Oh, well, of course. The one I need.
How is that possible? It's not in there. Let me say there is another one here. Another way we can run this is just run it using the terminal. Like you can write it here, obviously, right? Oh, what about that guy? Try go on the left. The one up top, another icon up that one. No, like the bottom. The third bot that guy, yeah. Click that one.
This is a run.
Yeah. What happened?
Nothing.
There's nothing popped up anywhere.
No.
It says run right there, say.
I know. I'm like.
So customize run, open the folder, click on it again, and let's read what it says on the left.
Customize run.
So open a file which can be debugged or run. Can we click on run and debug?
Do I need to debug every time?
You don't have to debug it. Let's just do it like the old-fashioned way. We'll use this as like a way for us to like write the code, like.
Okay.
And then, do you know where the Anaconda terminal is?
So I have Anaconda open. I'm going to pull this up.
Okay, I'll show you this one too. So okay, and then you did download this. Can you look for Anaconda prompt?
Anaconda what?
Prompt, like PROMPT.
Oh. Oh my God.
Prompt.
Sorry.
It's
it's
like a terminal. It's a terminal name.
Oh my God, too funny.
You,
I wonder, do I need to do this maybe? Python?
No, it's not that one. Try and look at the Qt console. This one, the PQ that supports inline figure proper monoline editing. Yeah, that one. Yeah, click on that one. Okay, and try and click ls or like type ls. Yeah. Okay, good. I think this is the one. Try and minimize the bigger the Anaconda navigator. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Okay. So let's see if this can run, because usually you can just run whatever you wrote on Visual Studio inside here. Okay. Let's try to see where you saved this defined variable file. Or like try save as. Let's save it somewhere else so that it's easier for us. So
file save as. That's right.
yeah.
I forget where I saved it. Come on.
Yeah, that's it. Let's save it somewhere where it's like familiar.
Oh, desktop. A
Oh, it's on
desktop.
desktop. Okay, let's go to desktop.
Okay. So come in here.
I think it's like CD. Yeah. Yep.
So this is similar then to.
And then try ls. Yeah.
Huh. So
Oh, just put in like CD desktop. Well, did that work?
no.
That's weird. I thought that should work.
Well, it said invalid syntax. So since I don't know Jupyter, I don't know the proper, like I did.
It should be the same. It should be the same. Try to just do that without the slash.
To access.
Okay. There you go.
Huh. Okay.
All right, ls again. Okay. I think it's in there.
Yep, I see define variable. Okay.
Okay, so let's see if this works. I'm pretty sure this is gonna work. Type Python. Just type Python, and then type that file name space then file that define variable. Yeah, that one. Okay, invalid.
I need to get to that file first, like CD.
No, it's try type in capital P. Yeah. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, it must be something else. Let's try. It may not be this one. Let's go to your regular terminal. I think it's at the bottom right there. Yeah, that one. Let's see if we can run it from here.
Okay.
Let's go to the same place. So the desktop. Yeah. And then let's look for that file. Same thing. Python. Yeah. There you go. It worked.
Okay.
So let's do it that way. If you don't mind doing it that old-fashioned, this is the way. I mean, sometimes it's not really old-fashioned, but sometimes there's a built-in embedded, output.
Right. No, I like this Jupyter out. Well, first of all, it's larger font. I can read it better, and it's just a syntax, a way they want it defined, which I wouldn't know what that is yet.
Okay.
But
it's fine. Okay, so I guess since we have a working root, let's just work on working on the examples on typing it on Visual Studio, and then running it the way we did on this terminal.
Okay, so I'll leave Jupyter minimized, and then
just minimize that one. Yeah, and then let's do that because this way at least you have a way of running it. Anyways, if you're gonna be running your assignment, you're gonna be doing it this way as well.
Yeah, for the next few weeks anyway. So yeah, let's.
Okay, all right. So let me go back to what I was talking about. after all of that.
Back half an hour later. Well, at least I know.
Yeah. No. There's always different routes. This is like debugging in real life.
Yeah. True. That's true. That's why I called you after 19 hours of it.
Okay. So as I was saying, so when you're defining a variable, you could declare it by just saying a name, like math result here, and then you do equals, and then you do an operator. Did you guys cover operators?
I don't. That doesn't sound familiar. The conditionals are familiar. Variables.
Conditionals, yeah.
Functions, lists.
Okay, you guys covered the list. Okay.
Yeah, that's. But operators, if that's part of the initial, I'd like to absolutely learn that because he'll leave some stuff out as part of the homework. We have to learn it anyway. So
exactly, that's what I'm saying. If you learn everything, you might as well now because this is the main language. Okay. Do you want me to? Do you want to just do it while I'm talking? I guess if you go on assignment 1. You can probably follow along if you. assignment 1. This is lesson 1 we'll cover after because it's a little bit difficult.
Okay. So assignment 1. So I think I'm in lesson 1. So I need to get to the.
Yeah.
I forget where I place. Oh, I know. Hold that thought.
Okay.
Assignment 1.
Okay. Yeah. So how I arrange this is assignment 1, then lesson 1, assignment 2, then lesson 2. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do like the assignment 1. The assignment activities is gonna help out a lot. So okay, if you if you scroll to like printing variables. Yeah. All right. So I guess the very first thing is like learning how to like, create variables. And then so the one that we have right now is it's an integer. And then there's 5 different variable types, data types in Python.
5 variable types.
Yeah, there's the integer and there's the float, there's the string.
Float, I don't know that one.
Yeah, float is just a way for you to like it's like an integer but with decimals. So it's like a number with decimals pretty much. And an integer is like without decimals.
Integer with decimals. Okay.
And then there's the Boolean. Did they talk about Boolean?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. So Booleans are like true or false. You're gonna use that for like comparing things, if else statements.
True or false.
Yeah. And then loops. You're also gonna be using it for loops.
False and loops. Okay. I hope you. I like to take lots of notes.
No, go ahead. Good. I like that. I mean, if you have questions too, like in between, that'll be good. So, and then there's the last one. That's is none. The none type. NONE. It's weird, but like there's that type.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, so this is how you do it. Like in VBA and Java, you typically define the variable type, data type. In Python, you don't, like what we did right now. You just typically just like define the math result, right? You didn't say that it was an integer, did it? We didn't do that.
No, we didn't. No.
Yeah, but the way it does it is like, okay, it knows it as long as you're keeping track that it's an integer, and you apply functions to it that only integers can work with, then you're good to go. So that's why it's easy. There's very much like less technicality. But it's always good to know why, like why you don't have to do it.
So, okay, so that makes sense. So applying the functions that match the variable or the string or what have you, as long as you're doing what you say you're going to do.
Yeah, and we're going to check that, like, I'll show you. So if you go to like the next page, so we did the first one. So we don't have to cover this restarting the kernel because this is on Jupyter Notebook. Let's go to example question. Okay, so it says here, so I already gave you the answers to this. You're supposed to do this one. Define a variable called myInt that stores the value 17. So your code, yeah, if you want to type that one, your code is myInt equals 17.
Does spacing matter in Python? Or
no, it's the same with anything. It's like white space. It's not gonna recognize that. It's gonna think it's just like, as long as you don't type anything,
Right.
That's not supposed to be. And then also in Python, you don't have to suppress it with like a semicolon. So like if you type in like myInt, yeah, that's good to go. Some programs, it will output if you don't put like a semicolon.
Oh, okay.
At the end of each like statement, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so for this one, I think one of the good ways for programmers to really, that's why I think I like this, is when you like can transfer like sentences, like like this, define a variable, right, called myInt that stores the value 17. That's in words, and then you were to figure out what do you want your code to look like, and this is how your code should look like. It should be declaring a myInt and then assigning it 17.
So assert is assign. Interesting.
And then this assert. Okay, so I wanna tell you about assert because you know how like when you program something, you also want to learn how to debug it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you assert this, you know how it's green? Try type in assert on the visual studio. I want to show it. Okay, and space. Okay, you know how like it turned a different color?
Yeah.
So every time in Python, the comments are green. That's the one up top.
Mm-hmm.
And then like in Visual Studio, I guess that's one way to color it. And how you create a comment is when you put a hashtag. And then when it's like this color, like assert, like some reddish color, that means it's a command.
Okay.
So in Visual Studio, since we're working with this, the color of like comments are green, and then keywords are like commands. They're synonymous. They're gonna turn a certain color, like I guess this red color.
Okay.
Okay, and now, okay, so for assert, this command assert, what it does is when you assert a variable, like so you say assert and then type in my underscore in. Okay, before you run this, I'll just explain it. So this assert my int, what it does is if the output, it's gonna check if my int is there, if you declared it. And you did, you have it declared up top on line number 7, right?
So it checks if it's been declared.
Yeah. If you read my comment there, this says this tests that a variable exists.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then now I'll kind of like expand on that. What that means is when you assert it, and if it is there, if it does exist, if you declare it, then it's not gonna output anything. No output. But if it's wrong or it's not there, it's gonna give you an error.
Won't output if correct. Okay.
And then I guess we'll test that. So instead of just words, let's try running this now. So save it first and then run it on the terminal.
Run with
And
that.
the way we did it, I think it's on that terminal.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like the mechanics now. We're gonna be doing this one every time.
So I saved it in the file. I pressed file save on.
It should be the same thing.
Studio. So now how do I run the file? So this is where he went so fast. I didn't know.
Okay. You every time you run a file, you just type in Python and then the file name. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so you still have 8, right? Because this was the print on line number 4.
Yes.
Okay, line number 4. Maybe we could suppress that. Try type in in front of print. Put in like a hashtag or like a £. Okay, try running it again. Yeah, you can also suppress number 2 if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, and try running it again. Yeah.
This is
good. This is good.
Yeah, definitely. Do I need to save this again?
Yeah, I think in my thing, I think it does save it, but automatically. But yeah, just do it just for like this, just for doing it. Okay, so you didn't output anything because you suppressed it with the hashtag, right?
Yes.
So that's another like technique. If you don't want something to run, just hashtag it. And then let me explain number 9. So number 9, you asserted like the variable my int. Nothing happened, right? Nothing outputted, right?
Right.
So okay, let's try change the name of my int to like type some letter after T. It doesn't matter, like any letter. Okay, now try running it again.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the define.
Yep. It can't open it, so definitely found the mistake there.
Okay. For this one, I think for define the variable name, or not the variable, like the file name.
Oh, I should. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh, I spelled it wrong too. I'm a little slow today.
No, it's not.
It's definitely Friday.
Yeah, I know, right?
By Saturday class, I'm like, oh my
I
God.
can't imagine you have a Saturday class are like, okay, you know what right. Okay, it says line 9. So you see here it says line 9, there's an issue here, right?
Oh, yes. Okay.
And it says, and the issue is, what I like about Python, it's very clear. It says name error. It says name
Uh,
error. It says like name blank, whatever variable you put is not defined. And what does assert do? It will shoot out a false if it doesn't exist.
okay.
And that error is that it shoots out is the name error. We'll talk about errors later on. It's always good to know what the errors are. There's so many different ones.
Yeah.
Right now, let's just I'm just trying to define what an assert is.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. You can double check everything as you go.
Yeah, there's more though. There's more.
I have no doubt.
Okay, let's put that back to like my int, and then you can suppress it if you want. And then let's talk about assert is instance. Okay, so the next assert is instance.
Oh, do you want me to suppress the my int?
You might not want to do that one because we're checking that with the assert. Just that, yeah.
Just this one. Okay. Oops.
Yeah.
Assert is instance.
Okay. I'll explain it first before we run it.
Okay.
Okay. So assert is instance. So if you look at like this this comment here, it says this tests that a variable is of a particular type. So what that means is, so assert we know is when if it's if it's true, it doesn't shoot out anything, but if it's false, it's going to give you an error. Assert is instance. So is instance is another function keyword. That's why it changes color. So is instance though, what it wants to check, whatever is inside it. So if you look on the PDF, it says my int is the first thing, and then on the right of it, the second thing, it says int. So what this does is it checks if your variable my int is actually an integer.
Oh.
Yeah. So and let's like make that general. It checks if the variable is actually its data type that you define. It doesn't have to be an integer. It could be like a string. It could be a Boolean, a none, a float.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So I guess let's check if this one will work for the one we defined.
Okay. Let's see here. File save. All right.
All right. For like you have to type it. You have to type in the argument or like the thing inside the parentheses.
Oh.
It's a command. It's like it's a command that takes a. Oh yeah. Let me. Did your professor talk about arguments?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay. So arguments are whatever is inside the layman's terms I just say is whatever is inside the parentheses. but what it is like it's what a function is instance takes in. So that's why it's inside, and then so that's an argument. Whatever it takes in the function.
Side argument inside parentheses. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I think this one should work. Let's check if it doesn't output anything.
All right. Let's see here.
What happened?
No.
Oh, it's a variable, defined variable.
Oh, because we were looking at it as an integer here.
Yeah, I think this one is the file name. The file.
Define variable. Define. Oh my God.
It's a very long name.
Yeah.
It's a very long name.
Oh, I told you, it's definitely Friday. I can feel it. So
Yeah.
sorry about that. I'm staring right at it too. I just
Okay.
okay. So Python define variable pi. So it shows up as a percent.
Does it show? It does output something.
Well, it showed up as a percent sign.
Oh, that's weird. It shouldn't output.
Oh, let me.
Try doing it again. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
that's good. Okay,
It was being
okay.
buggy. I was like, what is that? Like, this is
Oh, you know,
anyways.
I hit the backward slash accidentally. That's probably why. Okay, never.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so this one, so I guess like categorizing assert, it calls up and checks if a function exists. Assert is instance. It calls out it and it checks if something is an actual data type. If your variable that you define is a data type that you intended. So yeah, that's what it is. I know it's a little like, why do you need to check if a variable exists? Why do you need to check if something is a data type? It's just like if you were coding it and doing something that you want to, that for someone and don't really care if you're debugging, that doesn't matter. But if you're debugging, then this matters because then you're checking someone's code. So I guess it's like two-sided.
Okay.
And it's
No,
always good to learn that.
I want to, yeah, I mean, this would have helped tremendously in VBA. You know, it's like, I know they're two different programs, but to check along the way is so.
Yeah, I think you could also do it in VBA. Different syntax. The syntax is different, but the concept is the same.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, does this one make sense? I guess for the two, the
It
checking.
does,
Okay,
for
and
sure.
then the other way you could check something is not only like if it exists or whatever the data type is, you could also check, and this is the third one here, whatever the value you have. If your variable is actually 17. Okay. And then, so for this one, the equal sign.
Uh-huh.
So that's like one of those comparison operators. Like we're gonna be using a lot of this in like if else statements, conditionals. You're gonna put, but I think in VBA you had this too, right?
It looks familiar, but I don't know if it was from an early lesson on Python or if it was from VBA. I mean,
Okay,
I had if else statements, of course, but
okay. So like
after you do that one
yeah. Now, like after you learn all, like that's the good thing about these programs. After you learn like each one, in the beginning, like one seems, and if you compare like all of them, in the beginning you'll be like, oh, it seems like we're learning a totally different language. But in actuality, like the generalities of them, they're all kind of the same. Like for example, like comparing things. For the most part, Java is a little bit different. Like, but the VBA, I guess comparison, and then like loops, they're very similar to Python. Anyways,
Okay.
uh, the different types of comparison operators. There's the equal, and you could also do greater than, right? Greater than equal,
Oh
less
yeah.
less than equal, yeah. And you can even do not equal.
Is that the double parentheses
I think this is the
inclusion?
either is not or the exclamation point
Oh, I
equals.
didn't learn that one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then this one, do you remember if you're comparing something and then they're the same, what does it output? I always do this because then it relates back to like, oh, okay, that now, if my int right here does equal 17, what does it output?
Um, Good question. I don't know. Let's find out.
Okay, let's look at it. Yeah.
I'm assuming, well, I don't want to assume anything, but that's 17 or nothing. Nothing
Okay.
because it wasn't an error. Is that right?
Yeah, and let's actually check because like that's a good thing. You want to know yourself like, oh, if because like what does assert do? If it's true, if whatever the output is true, it doesn't output anything, right?
That's right. That's right. Okay.
So let's check if okay, let's isolate this guy. So maybe take like my int equal 17 and then put that on the next line.
This
And
one?
then maybe, yeah, like the whole thing after assert.
Okay.
Everything after assert. Let's check if it's actually true. Yeah, you could do that one and just type in print. Okay, and I think you have to type in print at the beginning.
Oh, print. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And then like try to we may have to assert itself doesn't do anything. We may have to suppress that one.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. So now let's check if whatever we had like after assert if it's actually true. Let's see what happens. Oh look.
Oh.
So this is good. This is good. So now the understanding is like you assumed it's true. That's why you put it in assert, and now you confirm that it's true. So that's like kind of like how you do these things.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If you can, like the more you do it, the more like you can anticipate. It's like, oh, okay, this is why you were. The more you can say why you're doing something in coding, and anticipate it, because the anticipation comes from, well, I guess the theory, right?
Right.
But like, yeah, see, like, but then what you're doing here, as we're talking about it, I think this is more effective actually, is like, let's check, every line as we go through the lesson. Yeah, so that's technically like all about asserts. When you want to check if your code, like my int equals 17 is actually working. These are 3 things you can do.
Excellent.
Yeah, let's try to see if we can create other variables besides integer. I think this is the next one.
Okay, let's see here.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, I love this one. So now we know how to do like integers or define integers. Let's check if we can do, yeah, if you look at over here, it says create the following variables. Let's try doing that one.
Create the variables. Oh, okay. I'll just do this.
Does it show? Okay, this shows 4. Oh, it doesn't actually do the 5th one. Okay.
I said, number, decimal, 9.29 word equals 18. And
Okay. Yeah, some of the syntax here, I mean, I guess you can see, like when, obviously number and decimal, that's like intuitive, right?
right.
And then word, so word is string. That's like the coding word for it. Defining strings in like Python, you could do it, I think, 2 ways. You could either do it in between 1 apostrophe or like double quotation,
Okay.
You could do it either way. And there's actually another way of doing it. I'll show you that later. But like right now, like that's how you can do it. And then this true or false. It has to be. You know how like the true on line 20, it turned blue, right?
Yeah.
Try changing the capital T to like a small t.
Oops.
Okay, now it's white, right?
Oh, yeah.
So white means it's like nothing. It's not like a built-in variable. But so it's not going to be a true data type. So the syntax for it for the Boolean, this is a Boolean. it has to be a capital T or a capital F for false, true or false.
Booleans must be capital. Okay.
Okay. So like, yeah, this is pretty much the four. And like these couple ones, maybe we could skip it, but you know how like we talked about the assert? It's pretty much the same thing, but we're
Oh,
doing it for all of them now. It's pretty much the same thing.
okay. So we're testing that out. Okay.
Yeah, just test it out when you have time. But this right here is pretty much the main four, the big four, you know, in like what you're gonna the universe of like Python. These will be the ones you'll be using for data variables, data types.
The big.
Four.
Yeah, I'll remember it then.
And then the fifth one is like the none. You don't really use it. Your professor's gonna talk about it, but you're gonna be like, okay, why do we need it? You don't need it as much. You don't need the fifth data type. Yeah. Anyways, okay, let's talk about operations now.
Operations. Okay.
This is the part that you guys probably touched on, like adding stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Just getting into a little bit of it.
Okay.
Although I don't know this float and the ANS. I don't know that stuff.
Okay. Let's try to do this one then. So it says like Python as a calculator. Okay. Yeah, technically it is like there's more. Let's try defining these variables first. And then try to do what it says, I guess, in the bullets.
All right. Should I hide this for?
Yeah.
So I don't pull that up. All right. Up.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll talk about this now. I'll refer back to it again later. You know how there's always a way like when people code the way they define variables. There's actually a standard way of doing it.
Oh, okay.
So the way that we've been doing it here is like the standard. Like you know how you have this lowercase letters on the left and an underscore.
Uh-huh.
And then you put like it could be one or two, but every time you have a space, it's always like an underscore, and all the words are in lowercase. This is called a snake case.
Snake case.
Yeah, and snake cases are usually used for variables, which is correct. That's what we're doing here.
Variables, all lowercase.
Yeah, and then later on I'll talk about. There's three more cases. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's try to do some math with these guys.
Okay. Sure. Go to the number 11.
Yeah, number 11. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's answer? Sure.
Oh, does it show?
I just had to read through it a bit. I'm like, oh, never mind. It's like right there. Got it.
And then like I think the Python does keep the order of operations. If you didn't do any like parentheses, yeah, it will do the same order as what you would like in a calculator.
Oh, okay.
And this third answer, there's a weird one. Did your professor talk about this one? This parentheses? Or not parentheses, but there's percent sign.
No, we didn't go over that.
Okay. So a percent sign is pretty much when you're dividing something, then you get the remainder, and it's the remainder. It's called a modulo. A modulo. So like, for example, let's look at what int1 is. int1 is 27, right?
Yes.
And then if you were to divide that by int2, 27 divided by 9.
It's 3, right?
Yeah. And then there's no remainder, right?
Fourth grade math, do I remember?
No, that's good. That's good. That's awesome.
My calculator.
You can also check it that way. But like, you know how there's no remainder, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
there's
correct.
no remainder. So this answer 3, when you do this one, int percent int 2, this is going to be 0 because the remainder is 0.
Okay.
Right now you're probably like, why do we need to do that? Like sometimes like all these conditionals, all these operations, it'll make sense once we do like if else statement or like loops or like if else statements, because then you're gonna have the conditionals there to like compare, so you can run your code. So maybe right now like the module doesn't matter, but for sure like dividing, multiplying, and adding and subtracting, and then comparing, yeah, you know, like equal, all that is good to learn for the if else statements. Oh yeah, what about squaring something like 2 squared? Did you guys talk about that?
Um,
Like raised to a power.
he, you know, it was more of an Excel lesson in learning like why you would want to do macros.
Okay.
Write it out, but we haven't touched on that. No,
We'll,
not
we'll just put like because this one doesn't really have it. Let's do like an answer for. Just check what happens. Yeah. So for this one, maybe do like int1, and then like type this in asterisk asterisk and then 2. Yeah. So yeah, this one pretty much means squared. I know it's a little weird, but this is the syntax. Like you're raising int1 to the 2nd power.
got it. Okay.
So you do like double asterisk. I don't know why they can't make it simple. Like a caret. Usually it's a caret sign.
Oh, really? Oh,
Like that upward triangle thing.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, right.
That's right. That's right. It's coming back.
But it's like, why do you like double asterisk? It's like no one's gonna. There's like a double multiplication. Yeah, yeah. This is good. Yeah, if you're right, Nasa, that's good. Okay. So I guess these are the main ones. Let's try see if we can output them. Instead of like doing this assert thing, let's just print them.
Okay. Can I put print in just front of each of them?
You have to like right now. You have to do it separately. So you just have to do like A and C, answer 1. Just put it inside the parentheses. Yeah, like that. Yeah. And then you gotta do another one. Like it has to be separate. Yeah.
Okay. Oops.
Okay. So I'll talk about it. I think it's after. Is it after? Yeah, it's after this one. Like right now, we're trying to print numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like the next one, we'll print out strings. When you print out strings, it's gonna be somewhat different, more complicated, but there's gonna be a kind of like a similar way of adding strings, similar to numbers. Okay, let's see if we can output something.
Okay.
Awesome. Let's
Check
do
it out. Oh my God.
It's good, right? I mean, it's nice when finally it works all
What,
together.
like, it works. Yeah, you know, after
No, it's good.
in class, like, what?
Nah, you're doing great. Like this is actually, the more you do this, doesn't it make more sense now? Like you built your code here,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
like
definitely.
and you can debug it now. So yeah, we'll build on a lot of these, but seeing it like how the very first code is like usually just typing a string, but then you're doing more things now here. So let's do the strings now.
Okay.
All right, string manipulation. This should be a fun one. So when you're printing numbers, you just do what you just did. Like you perform the variable. Oh yeah, like how we had the answer 1. We assigned that, right? Like all these ones 1, 2, and 3, and 4.
Uh-huh.
Assigned it like different values.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you could have done this the same thing by just not declaring the answer one, and just putting the actual equation inside the print. You could have done the same thing. You don't always have to define a variable, but it's always good to do it that way.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'll have to get used to that just to kind of.
Okay. Okay. Let's look at strings. It's gonna be the same way let's define the string variable and then we're gonna print it.
Oops.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think you're gonna have to do this because he wants you guys to print the statements in like the terminal and the text.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll briefly talk about that like last 15 minutes.
Oh my God.
it's it's not bad. Like at least like the bits and pieces are coming together and like now you just have to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two T's. Anyway, okay. So I got these variables, and then this is okay.
And this is how you output it. Like when you, of course, yeah, you define each string, and then now you want to put it together. Okay, he probably touched on this. When you add strings, which is what you're gonna do, it's called concatenation.
Okay, he touched on that, but I didn't quite understand that.
Okay, it's just a terminology. Like when you add numbers, adding strings it's like a term, concatenate.
Okay.
Like it's not just in Python, it's like everywhere.
Okay. Okay.
And then like the one thing about these is like spaces really matter, like what you did there. Yeah, like string plus space and plus, and then plus two. And you need a plus, I think, after the string too.
String two. Oh.
After that, yeah, in between that one.
Oh, got it. So before and after the space.
Yeah, if you picture it like, how it's gonna look like so you have to define spaces, and then when you put in a variable there, it's just gonna take what you defined it as. But the in-betweens, you still have to define it, the space. If you picture it like, oh, how am I gonna make this sentence look?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have to think about like spaces, and then it's like it's one of those things. It's always the case. I think it's like with every code.
Okay, like a grammar structure there. Okay. All right, let's see what happens.
I think with this, let me think. I don't know if they just run it first. Let's see what happens. You might have to put print on the string output.
Oh, okay.
Let's see first then. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Okay, so should I hide? Let me.
Yeah, just the print. It doesn't matter if you hide the variables.
Okay, so then I have to do print here.
Yeah. In Jupyter Notebook, you don't have to, but in the Visual Studio, you do.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, all right.
Okay.
Let's see.
Awesome.
Oh my God, my first one that actually worked.
Yeah, there you go. No, that's good. That's really awesome.
Finally, after a week, it worked. Okay.
Yeah. Now, well, let's see. So yeah, that's good. That's with variables, and that's with like strings. And did you wanna continue this one, or did you wanna look at the assignments?
You know what? I should probably read them before the weekend. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, yeah, we can definitely maybe just do like assignment one, and then maybe you can ask me later on, and then we'll move on to lesson one later on. Lesson one, assignment two.
Yeah.
Because like those will be it's not rigid, but it will talk about. We didn't even cover. I wanted to cover if-else statement today, but we'll talk about it in the actual coding of the assignment.
Okay. I mean, we can. Well, we have a little time. I know we only have 20 minutes, but maybe.
Let's yeah. Why don't we? Do you want to skip to the if-else?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I think it's like try scrolling and you're gonna see if-else later.
So conditionals. Here we are.
Okay, let's actually this one isn't the full one. Let's go to like the last part. I might as well just explain the last part, like all the way down.
Oh, sorry.
I think it's like second to the last, before the calculator. I think 8 or 9. No, not this one. It might be 9. Multiple cases, if else. There's no else. Scroll more. Creating. Oh, here we go. This is that one, yeah. Okay. Let's just try to look at this guy.
Okay.
So let me just explain it. So when you're doing like an if-else statement, like if-else, there's also else-if. And this is very like similar to all codes. The only difference is the syntax. Yeah. So when all the operation comparisons you're doing, it's always gonna come after the if keyword, and then else if keyword. Else if the keyword for it in Python is elif. That's else if. And
I
then
was thinking he was spelling it wrong.
I know, right?
I know he's into like, Gandalf and that whole thing he keeps referencing, but I was like,
Oh yeah.
look right. Okay, now I understand. It's an actual operation. Okay.
Yep. I know. And in fact, I always, because Python wasn't my first language, like in coding. So like I always spelt it as else if, and it was always wrong. I finally got used to it. So yeah, it's
sense of humor.
elif and then else. Else is else and if. That's it's pretty much full words. The other thing is too is the syntax for writing these. You always have you have the if keyword, and then after that you put your conditional. So and after the conditional, you always have to do this. In other languages you don't, but in Python you have to put in a colon. As you see here, like operation equals add, and there's like a colon there. And if you don't put the colon after the condition, it's just something you have to get used to. It's a syntax thing.
Okay.
And I guess like with any if-else statement, like across the board, anything you put after the if it's true, then it will run that code on the next line, right? And then for else if the first if isn't true, it will run else if, and then the following else if and else if. And if all the if and else ifs are not true, then it'll, like above anything else, then like the last thing it will check is else, and else doesn't have a condition, right?
Right.
Yeah, else is just else, everything else. So like it's a catch-all, and then that's where you put that answer, like whatever is the catch-all statement, you put it there.
Okay.
And that's really the concept of it. It just it's kind of like a loop, but loops are like worse. So like yeah, we'll talk about the loops later because it really revolves around like creating a list, which is another thing, another beast.
Yeah, he was just starting that, and it sounds very interesting. Something I could definitely use.
Yeah, that's really like the basis of the data. Putting things in a list, data structure. Yeah, for data science, that's like the big thing. Like knowing how to create a list so you can manipulate it, and you can act on it, and then you can output whatever you want.
Yeah, that was interesting. A little bit much for me. But interesting, and I found it fascinating with being able to import all these I don't know, these libraries that you could.
Yeah, that's the most awesome thing about like Python, because like this open, like a lot of people use it a lot more than anything, and then a lot of like developers they create their own, they call it modules. They create their own functions, like packages, and then You could just like whatever someone made, you could just import it. Like what you do with like data sheets, you have to import something, which is really insane because then there's no limit, you know?
That's crazy.
Because VBA, like I think it's like the old has got, you know, the old timer.
Yeah, that's true.
And
It's
then I think Java is a little bit like that, but there's things in Java that you have to go to Java and not Python. But it's just, but then Python is the one mostly used for data science, like everything, because you know, like it's easier to learn, and then there's just more things like pandas. Like you guys will learn about pandas, right?
yeah, yeah. I think starting tomorrow.
Yeah, pandas, graphing things, matplotlib is another package. Anyways, like okay, well we'll talk about that when we get there, but that's where the exciting part comes in.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds
But
good.
all of that embedded in it are all of these operators, variables, if else statements. Knowing this, like all these basic stuff, you can create your own. You know, you can create your own package, your module, and we're gonna get to that, and it's gonna be fun when you do that. Anyways, so so like these different conditions. Does this make sense though? Like just looking at this.
It does. I mean, you know, if it doesn't do one, then you go to the next and the next, and if you don't have an answer, then your answer is not a thing. So it does make sense.
Good, good, yeah. That right there, yeah. Like every coder, I always like say like should be able to explain what their code does in a flowchart. If you could do that and then back it out, it's like, okay, this is my flowchart, this is my code, this is the flowchart, and it's like a feedback loop. Then I think yeah, you've very much like the more you do that, the better you are, and then anticipating like, oh, this is what my code wants to do, and then if I do this, this will do that. You're constantly doing that in your mind. And that's how you technically debug. Once we learn about errors, then you can anticipate more not getting that error.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay. Okay. Can I show you maybe how I would do the assignment?
Yes, and let's see,
Okay.
stop sharing my screen. Where did my pop up? Got so much open here. Let's see, it was at the top there for a moment.
Let me try this one. I think I can just click yeah.
Can you take it back?
Yeah. Let me see.
Let's see here, because I'm not seeing. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I can see the screen
do you
again.
see this?
Oh, perfect. Yep, that's perfect.
Okay. I'm just gonna enlarge this. Okay. So this one I'll save. Yeah. All right. So this is how you've read through the assignment, right?
I glanced over it, but like I said, work got a little bit much yesterday, so.
Okay, let's just talk about like the number one first, like the numbers. This one I think has numbers as well. What I would say, like when you're doing the PyBank and PyPoll, uh, they're pretty much. I just generally both of them are pretty much doing the same thing, different data set, but they're the same thing.
Okay.
In general, like that's what I got from like okay, like you're given like budget data set for the bank one, right?
Yeah.
And then for the poll one, like you're given like an election data set, the number of votes, and seeing if who wins, right?
Yeah.
For the bank one, it's not about who wins, but kind of like similar to what we did for VBA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Okay.
I think it wants you to like print out different financial analysis variables, whatever they are.
Mm.
Okay. So that's generally what it is. Like you're going to be doing those two things. But how do you do it? Okay, I guess I'll just talk about the theory first, and then I'll let you do like the coding this weekend, and we'll talk about like kind of compare notes.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay,
So I gotta learn.
I'll send this to you on Monday, and then after you've gone through that process.
Okay.
Okay. So the very first thing in Python, what you usually do, this is just me, like I like to do this, I did this with the VBA too, is commenting, author, objective, and where my thing begins and ends. And like, within your code, I would usually like import, these different modules. Like,
Is that the first thing you always do is importing?
Yeah. It depends on your objective. Like if there's built-in, if you're just adding things, it's already built in, right?
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't need something that outside of the regular Python program, that's built in, then you don't need to import. But if you do, then you do need to import. Which in this case we do. You need to
Okay.
import OS, CSV, and then sys system.
Okay.
Okay, and let me see. So the next thing here is setting up the working directory. What I mean by this is, like you're given, what are you guys given? You're given like a data set, right? In Excel, a CSV. Yeah. Okay. So there's different ways of doing this, but what I'm doing here is I want my Python file to transfer that CSV, the data there, into a list. That's like the technique. I mean, that's like the system of what I want to code is I want to transfer the CSV
Okay.
into a list that I'm going to define a variable for.
Okay. He had just started going over that. That was what's today? Friday? Wednesday. He had just started showing us
How to do somewhat. Yeah, I think I read through like the notepad, like, or the, what is it, readme file.
uh-huh.
And then, yeah, it said something like, oh, we talked about this. I just want you guys to apply it now. Kind of like CSV, kind of like.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, like this right here. Maybe you can just like, because like it's weird because like if the syntax here is wrong, then you can't really do anything yet. You know what I mean? It's like you want to start this, you want to do all the math here, but
Yeah.
for me, like I feel like I felt like the easier parts in the bottom, you know.
The end.
Yeah, but setting up the directory, because this is how you communicate the Excel to like Python. I would say like maybe just take a look at this. Like just look at if something seems. But this is how you do it. You create a variable, CSV path, and then this is why we imported OS right here.
Okay.
Is I wanted to use this os.path.join. This is the function, and it's inside this OS module.
Okay.
And then how you do this, it's kind of like how you did in VBA. It's like a method. OS is the module, and then all these different methods are attached to it. All of these different functions. Path.join is one of them. What this does is I'll just explain it, but whatever is inside the parentheses here, the arguments, this is like your pathway. So like when you have this file, like for example, in the same folder as resources, or not the same folder, but like, you know how like the location of the folder of this file, there's a folder there called resources. I'll just show you that may not seem like I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like,
Sure.
okay.
Yes. Okay.
So the location of files really matter because it's like how you can access things. Sometimes like you're saying like you're gonna get an error. It's like, oh, you may think it's like a coding error, but it's actually just a location error. And this is one of them. If the file is misplaced, it's a location error.
Okay.
So you type this in, os.path.join, and then you put in here resources and then the name of the file. Let's take a look at that again. So let's see if it matches. Whatever this file is in, which is this PyBank, right? It has to be in the same location as where this resources folder is, right? The first argument.
Yes.
And the next argument is inside. So the next argument, so you have resources, the first argument. And the next argument, like this budget.data, is inside.
Got it. Okay.
So as long as that like the location is set up and then this syntax is correct, it should run perfectly.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah. And then so that's one. And then the next thing here is you need to figure out this with part right here.
So this is the with statement. Okay.
Yeah. So you need to put this whole thing inside a with. Like you see how far this with extends.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't have to be like this, but this is how I'm doing it.
Okay.
So I have this with statement, and what I'm trying to do here is the file that I have, the CSV file, is opening that I'm gonna put that all the you know, all these things in here, and then this thing right here, the CSV reader,
Mm-hmm.
is how I'm reading, like, because in that folder, right? If you take a look at this guy, it's pretty much opening this and then reading off the values.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
And
open
then,
reading.
yeah, and then this is what it's doing. I think for this is a little bit advanced. I would say, like, you know, this whole thing right here. So if you were to use this, that's fine with me. Like, because this has to be here in order for this to, you know, to function.
I need it to function.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe you can just like, okay, because this is what it's doing. Like, it's transferring that pathway and then reading off the Excel file.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just I'll take a snapshot of this and then I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll just save it. So this is kind of like, let's see. This is like set up directory, or set up a CSV Python connection. There you go. Okay, I'll send it to you. And then so after that one, the very first thing, we always do this, is declaring the variables, right?
Declare the variables. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, you have to figure out like what variables matter for this like program. From what I've seen, it's like you want to do like the month, revenue change, and monthly change.
Okay.
So after you figure that out, how you declare them is, because we are going to do a loop, and then because this is a list, you know, in Excel, this is a list, right?
Yes. Yes.
Then we have to define an empty list. This is how you define an empty list.
So with regular brackets.
Yeah. Square brackets, just nothing in it for now, because we're going to fill them in.
Define empty brackets. Okay. All right.
And then now what I want to do is I want to transfer, you know, the data for each row to, like, if you look over at row 1.
Transfer data for each row. Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
And then, you know, profit and losses, you can probably go right here, the next one right here.
Oh, sure.
So row 1 will have this guy, and row 2 will have this guy. And 1 in Python is 0. And then 2 is 1. Yeah.
That's right. Zero based. Okay.
0 base, yeah. So this is what it's doing. In my month list, I want to put append is the method for it, the function. So, you know, I want to append all. So this row, right, is the index here.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you have in the CSV reader, and the CSV reader is just these guys. Now you've defined it as this because of this guy right here.
Okay.
Yeah. So this CSV reader is now a list that contains like 2 lists, 2 of these guys, like a bunch of. So what you want to do is, like, from here, I want to put them in each row.
Okay.
So each of these, so row 1 will be this guy. So the month, that's how it says right here, row 1. And then row 2 is going to be in revenue, or like profits and losses, whatever.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And that's how you do it. Now all that data in here is in Python after you do this.
Oh, okay.
So that's how you do it.
Transferred over. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all in Python then. Gotcha.
Yeah. And let's go over the rest of these. So after you transfer it over to Python, now you can do some calculations, right?
Yes. Well, I can try.
Okay. Yeah. I think that, like I said, the hardest part is transferring it over and setting up like the director. Like, the setup is like, okay, now I can do all the easy stuff. So let's try to do the first one. So like total revenue in period. Or, yeah, total revenue in period, right? It's like one of the, let me just see this one. Actually, one of the first things I had to put this up here because you don't actually have to do any math for like the first thing it wants, which is like total number of months. It's just telling you how many months are there, right?
Oh yeah.
Total number of months. So what I would do there, I kind of suppress this, but this is what you have to do. So you know how like we created this month list,
Yes. Yeah.
and then we appended like all these, oh shoot, all these months,
Yes.
appended all these months in it. So now it's inside a list. And so you want to know how many months are there, right? Or the number of months there are. All you
Yeah.
have to do is like operate on that list. The command you should use is len, length of the list.
Len. Okay.
So len, and then whatever that list name, month. What I did here, len month.
Okay.
So len month tells you how many months there are in your list.
Number of months. Okay.
That's the first thing, and then I guess the one that you have to calculate. The second thing, total revenue in period.
Total revenue and period. Okay.
Okay, and then I guess you could look that up. What I did here is I kind of just the total revenue is just the sum of all the integers, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
In the revenue. There's many ways you could do that. What I did is I created another variable, and then all these revenue, all these guys,
Mm-hmm.
it's inside the list, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like when you transfer it over, from what I usually think, it's usually a string. It's a string. So I want to make them all an integer, because you can't have like strings and like 1 plus 1. If it's a string, it's gonna be 11.
Oh, true. That's true. Okay.
If it's an integer, it's gonna be 2. Those are the things you have to think about, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So what I'm trying to do here is I'm doing like a map. So what map does, this is map code, like function, this function map.
Okay, that's a new one to me.
Yeah. What ends up happening here is you can use your revenue, everything in revenue that you transferred over as a string. You can make them all an integer. So everything in revenue lists, you can make them all an integer using map.
String to integer. Oh wow. Okay.
And I think you can also do a loop there. You can make them like, you could loop it and make each one, instead of a string, you could do integer parentheses, each item. That way, I think it makes more sense instead of making a map, but this is just not using a loop. I don't really like using loops if I can avoid it.
Okay. Right. Well, I hear you. In place of a loop. Okay.
Yeah. And then like, so what is the total revenue in period? What I would do here is just, I would just sum, right? Because you have a list of like numbers.
Yes.
After you have a list of numbers, I would just sum all everything. And then let me see if I created yeah.
Okay.
And I would just, there's a function called like sum or like add, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like, the one nice thing about Python is that you could Google a lot of things because everyone uses it.
Right. And he did say that up front, like use it to the degree that you without fully plagiarize. I'm like, well,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you it's all bugged out anyway, so
Okay.
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like when you're searching for different things, this very easy compared to like VBA to look for if you want to use sum, add. There's not just one way of doing things. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There's like multiple routes, multiple functions, multiple commands.
Okay, that's perfect.
So the one that I use is sum, and the reason for that is I just want, because what this does is it adds every element that's a number inside a list.
Mm.
So since now I turned them into an integer, right? I could just add them.
Okay, that makes sense now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is what it's doing. And then the next thing, like this one I couldn't avoid a loop. So, because this one is what it wants you to do is you know you have to do the profit loss because eventually you want to do this this monthly change, right? Average monthly change in revenue.
Oh yeah.
So like you have to figure out what the revenue change is, and then you have to figure out what the total is,
Okay.
and before you can get to like the monthly change. Anyways, yeah, I'll let you think about this one.
Yeah.
But like, you know, similarly, like there's like 4 things I think you have to like calculate. You just do this,
Greatest
and
increase.
then greatest decrease in profits, kind of similar.
Gotcha.
And then like let me just end it with this guy. So I'll show you this, and then we'll go. But like you know how he wants you guys to like print it in a terminal as well as on a text file.
Yeah, that's gonna be tricky. I need help.
Okay, let me just show you like what I explain it first. But okay, so the first thing here is when you're printing it to a terminal, it's the same thing as what you've been doing. You could just use a print statement like that, and then like run it through the terminal. So let me show you how I would do that. So you know how I have this on, right?
Yeah.
And then you could just run you know like the way that you did it like in Mac, but this is the prompt I'm using, the Anaconda prompt.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know once I run this, I want to show you that it prints these guys.
Okay.
So right here it printed it right here.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is I saw like what type of because I was trying to see like what does he want you guys to print. I think he wants you guys to print it like this. There's like a certain like way he wants it. So done.
Now, and then do I just copy and?
For like for the
I don't
text.
know if you can print. Well, I don't know enough about terminal to know if I can like. I guess the screenshot of that would be the best bet. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'll read it.
If he wants you guys to do that, maybe.
I know. I'll read it more, and he'll go over it some more tomorrow. You know, he'll give little hints out type of thing.
Okay. And then this next one is a little bit it's not tricky, but there's another way of like printing it to a text file, like using the terminal. I don't like doing it that way because like it's not written in your code. You know, someone can't track it. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you write it in code, it's kind of like publish. You know.
Oh.
If it's in the terminal, it can change. It's variable.
Okay.
So anyways, so once you do that, printing it to the text, this is how you do it. Like the reason why, you know how we imported the sys system?
Yes.
Is because we need it here.
Oh, okay.
You can't use this if you don't import it first. You always have to import.
Import it first. Gotcha.
So this is the syntax I'm using. And it's like, this always works inside the Python file. You use sys, and then the function you use is .std out. And then you make it equal like open. And this is like just a certain syntax you have to follow. What this does is, the arguments here is what the name of the file is, because you're opening that text file. And then this W here, is I want to write inside that text file everything that's after this.
Oh, okay.
I want to open the file. This W says I want to write inside this text file everything after it. Everything after that and before this guy.
And before that guy. Gotcha.
In between these two, pretty much. You open it and you close it. That's like the concept. You open it, you write inside it with the W, and then you close it.
And then you close it. Okay. Okay.
And then like you're probably wondering, what do you put inside it? Well, everything you have.
The entire script. Okay.
And then like, so let me just show you that one. So after that, like it creates this thing right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's exactly what you had in your terminal. It's exactly what you had in your terminal.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty nifty that you could do that. Like that. This usually I don't have to print it in the text file. I just like print it either because in Jupyter Notebook it prints it there for you.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Okay.
And then like everything is really embedded and then more friendly, very friendly in Jupyter Notebook. Here it's like kind of like bare bones. Like you have to go and figure it, the back end, the terminal and whatever.
Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's really it. This is for PyBank. PyPole is the same thing. The only thing that changes is like inside. This thing, similar like steps.
Similar steps, just a different database to start with. Okay. CSV file. Okay. That's very helpful. Thank you so much. That'll get me started, and I'll definitely do a lot of work on it. And then probably tomorrow after class, I'll set up our next tutoring session.
Okay.
So I kind of where I'm at and how far I can get.
I need this. I need to send you this. Yeah, like if you have questions on the on setting, like any of this weekend, I'm definitely free. Just let me know how I can help.
Awesome. That'll be great. Yeah, I'll try and do as much as I can by myself. Just obviously a learning path, so I can get comfortable with it, and then see where I get stuck for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Like I think you're gonna like knowing this and what we already talked about today. I feel like you could probably do most of these. The resources, I think up to like 4 loops, I did give you. But so just like if you go back to it, it's like like a pen, it's in there. It's in the I think lesson 1, like working with lists.
Yeah.
All the 4 loops are there. While loops. Print statements. The only thing that's not there is this guy. That's why I want to send it to you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
This guy isn't that bad, right? This one.
No, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. This one is hard to interpret. This one. That's why I want to send it to you. And then maybe the more you look at it, it's like, okay, I'm gonna force myself to think. Yeah, it does work.
It better.
Sometimes code is just like that. Like you get to learn like the how and the why comes.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, this is great. This is so great. I really appreciate it. I'll definitely get a jump start on this, and it's going to start sinking in here. I mean, it definitely already makes more sense than VBA. So. Oh,
perfect. Yeah. See. Yeah, you're loving it, like right off the bat. That's always a good sign.
Loving it is a little stretch, but I'm getting there. Yeah, I think I know I'll like it better for sure.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you. And then just let me know.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Sounds good.
perfect.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You too.